Okay, so for this video, I'm going to talk about some potential balance changes that I'll make to the Requiem stance. The first thing we'll talk about is KCR and his Epitaph. Now, I think Epitaph needs a nerf. The reason is because it's a get out of jail free card that has literally no risk as base upgrade, and if you have Raging Demon, upon countering the opponent, you deal 50 damage. The worst part about this move is that even if you successfully do bait the move out, the opponent could still get value from it because they can run at you like a madman for that 4 seconds that the move is up. Should the move really be a riskless counter? And that begs the question, what are the nerfs to Epitaph? Well, the nerf to Epitaph is, if KCR does damage, takes damage, has its damage blocked, or blocks damage, Epitaph will go on a 3-second cooldown. The aim of this nerf is to make so KCR can no longer use Epitaph / Raging Demon in the middle of an M1 exchange. Now, the only time they'll be able to use it is at the start, or their first interaction within the exchange. This should also have the separate positive of making it so that the person fighting KCR can fight KCR like a normal stand and not be worried about Epitaph / Raging Demon. Okay, and that is it for the KCR nerf. Now we're going to talk about the KCR buff, which is 2 Reality Marble. But why does this move need a buff? Well, that's because all it does is put the opponent in a box and dim the lights. Now, me personally, when I use this move, I'd never find any real value from it. And when the opponent uses the move against me, it doesn't seem any different from normal M1 combat. They can technically use Scythe to try and blindside you, but Scythe has an audio cue, so if you actually hear the little slashes, you can dash and dodge it without even seeing it coming. But nevertheless, what are the buffs to this move? Well, first off, let's make sure you can actually tell the opponent's in Reality Marble, so give the opponent a red aura if this move connects. The second change is to expand Reality Marble to a more reasonable size for combat. And the final change to the actual buff is, if the opponent is hit by Reality Marble, they will suffer a speed penalty equivalent to that of losing a limb. It should be noted that this will not stack on top of a limb loss, so if you lose a limb and the opponent uses Reality Marble on you, you'll still move the same speed. We want you to be able to move, we don't want any sticky fingers nonsense. An alternative to this buff, now this is an alternative, I actually scrapped this idea because I thought it was stupid. Make it so that while the opponent is in Reality Marble, your M1s deal true damage. Yeah, that's why I scrapped it. But anyway, that's it for the KCR part of this video, and now we're going to talk about the Chariot Requiem part of this video. Okay, so why does the stand need changes? Well, it's because the entire playstyle is just use Conqueror's Will, use your own shadow, wait for your own shadow's cooldown to end, use your own shadow again, wait for your own shadow's cooldown to end, use your own shadow, use Conqueror's Will, repeat. Do I need to explain why that's an unhealthy playstyle? So, what are the changes? The first one is the removal of Conqueror's Will. The second one is reverting Arrow Barrage to its pre-nerf status, to where you could actually use it, and it would not put your barrage on cooldown. It also did less damage back then, which I think is good too. And then the final change is adding one new move. This move will have a pretty long startup, so you won't be able to combo into it using something like Zoom Punch or Pure Strike. However, it will be a stun. This move will also be parryable, and it'll be modeled after the Silver Chariot Tornado move. That's the best way to think of it. Anyway, that's it for the SCR changes, and now we're going to talk about GER. Okay, so why does GER need changes? Well, first up, it has a heal that plus 50s you. Plus 50. From my personal experience, I've been able to get this off about 4 times in a match. That is 200 HP. That is an entire health bar. This isn't helped by the fact that GR even has an awakening, which, fun fact, if you pop it at around the start of the match, you'll probably get it again at around the end of the match. 4 heals and 2 awakenings. Should it really have that? Anyway, here are the GER changes. First up, RTZ. It should be noted though that the RTZ changes do not apply when you're in Awakening, but the first change is casting RTZ no longer puts your barrage on cooldown. However, casting RTZ will now put your spec moves on cooldown. The reasoning behind the RTZ changes being exclusive to your normal form and not available in your Awakening form is that getting hit by a 1.8 damage barrage is not fun at all. The reason behind re-adding RTZ barrage is to give GER a better source of damage because we are going to be getting the tankiness of it a bit later. And the reasoning behind putting your spec moves on cooldown is I don't think doing RTZ, Barrage, Zoom Punch into Luck and Pluck, or maybe RTZ, Barrage, Zoom Punch into Bird is balanced in any way, which is why the spec moves go on cooldown. Anyway, here are the nerfs to GER's tankiness. There are two routes to nerfing this. Route 1 is changing the Awakening so that it no longer gives you a defense passive, and nerfing the heal of GER down to 35. Route 2 is leaving the Awakening alone, however, nerfing the heal from 50 to 20. And I just thought about a question that some people might have. Why am I okay with Urine Shadow? Yeah, I'm not okay with Epitaph. Well, I'm okay with Urine Shadow because that's one of SCR's main damage sources. Aside from Conqueror's Will, SCR's primary source of damage comes from Urine Shadow, and gutting that move would, well, yeah, the stand would do no damage. Meanwhile, Epitaph, KCR would be perfectly fine without Epitaph. Epitaph just seems like it's just a bit too much for the stand. Well, not Epitaph. Well, Epitaph, but more so Raging Demon. Epitaph probably just needs a small nerf. But anyway, that's it for this video. See you around.